Hey there, true believers, and welcome to episode 35 of the Marvel Mondays initiative here on the Penultimate Conquest. Today, our topic of discussion is finally Spider-Man No Way Home. Get fucking hyped, guys. Get fucking hyped. If you're listening to this on your favorite podcast service, feel free to give us a good rating on that platform. It helps the algorithms and it helps us grow our audience. Sorry, I am hearing myself talk and it's very annoying. I'm gonna mute the mic real quick.
Oh, yeah.
If you're watching on YouTube, consider dropping a like and a sub, and don't forget to hit the bell to get notifications for all of our shows, like the Penultimate Game Show, the Cross Media Show, and Anime Nation. If you're watching on Twitch and have Amazon Prime, you have Prime Gaming, which means you have one free sub to give out, and we'd love it if you give it to us, but if not, that's quite all right. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name is Ruben, the director of the Penultimate Conquest. Of course, I am joined by...
It's our first show back. For the new year.
Yeah.
Okay, fine.
I am joined by the one who thinks... you know what? The man that knows a lot about Destiny. And the man that knows a crap ton of... the person we're actually talking about today, which is weird, Spider-Man. I am joined by the one and only Eric Ginn. Eric, how you doing today?
I am good.
Good.
I actually killed Spider-Man in Fortnite today, so it was tough.
What?
It was tough, and the Daily Bugle area too, which was wild. But man, that web swinging in Fortnite pretty fun. Yeah, I'm doing
Who's
good.
your go-to skin?
I got Mando is my main skin, is what I use. So I pretty much got all the Marvel ones they had except Tony.
Tony.
So I didn't get the Iron Man one, but yeah, I rock Mando until I get Spider-Man. Yeah, I'm doing good, Ruben. I'm ready to hopefully not have any technical difficulties this time because I'm ready to talk about this movie.
Listen,
for real.
So far, it's going pretty good. I don't
2022, it's a new year.
Oh yeah.
Hype. Yeah.
And of course, I'm also joined by Mr. Movie Reviewer himself, the host of Large Popcorn, a cinema podcast, and one of the hosts of Podcast PXN, Christian Macias. Christian, how you doing?
Happy New Year, everyone. I took a COVID test today.
Is that just one sentence?
What do you want? No, I don't.
Okay.
Two independent clauses separated by a semicolon.
Okay.
Yeah, Ruben. Couldn't pick that up.
I mean, I did. I just wanted to make sure that he's not telling people, Happy New Year, everyone. I took a COVID test today.
Either way, just want everyone to know.
Okay.
Whether it's one or two sentences. Pray for that negative.
Fingers crossed.
Ruben, I gotta say, when you're introducing Christian there, you had a little NPR voice going on there, man.
Did I? I'm sorry.
I thought I was driving in the car, relaxed.
Sorry. It's my first time doing a show again. It's been a while.
It's been a minute, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been like a month. Ish. 4 weeks.
Ish.
I know. I missed it.
Yeah, me too. We got some housekeeping to go through. I finally did it, guys. This month's schedule is finally up on the website, and we'll be doing a lot of content.
I have it in my journal. I bought a planner so I could keep a better track. So I'm gonna follow along with you.
Okay, cool. Okay, good. Somebody to keep me, in line. All right, I appreciate that, Christian. Thank you very much.
Okay, then let me know if I can be of service.
What?
I like how in the notes here it says Ruben finally did it.
I just
don't know what
copied-
it's for
because
you had a big life event that just happened.
Yeah.
Shows back. It's just
Yeah.
It's not really specific.
I had done this before the Big Life event.
You should tell everyone what your big life event is, man.
My Big Life event, this Saturday, I had thrown my girlfriend a birthday party, and safe to say she's no longer my girlfriend, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah, that's okay,
Whoa.
because she's my fiance. I proposed.
Whoa!
What? Yeah. It's crazy, isn't it?
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'm next.
You're next.
You
That's
are.
right. We got you. 2022 is your year.
Get a pog in the chat.
You know what? Actually, before you go through the schedule, I have one quick thing to say.
Okay.
I matched with this girl on Tinder,
Uh-huh.
and we had a great flirty conversation for about 3 days, and then we started getting into astrology because she's into it. She asked about my 3 big houses, so I told her. Haven't heard a peep from her since.
3 big
I don't think she liked what
houses.
she saw.
What does that
But-
even mean?
Well, you can't use this astrology stuff. It's
My
weird.
sun sign, my moon sign, and my rising. I don't think she was into it because silence.
Oh.
A weird way to go.
You should call her out on it. Just be like,
No.
listen, I understand if you could just say no, you know? Anyway.
Whatever.
Not that I understand it, but what are your 3 big house signs or whatever?
I'm a Scorpio sun, Aries rising, Cancer moon. Not that I believe in this, by the way. I just
Right. Just
I'm a Slytherin, Hufflepuff, and
I just don't know like how like you wake up like just man I don't want to deal with any Aquariuses or anybody today. I don't have time for that kind of energy.
we call that a no bones day. Ruben, what's the schedule?
this week, obviously, we're doing Spider-Man No Way Home today. Tomorrow, we are doing Cobra Kai Season 4 review, which is going to be epic as hell.
People like that Karate Kid, huh?
Yeah, real good, real good, real good.
Quiet.
And Wednesday, we are doing our Halo Infinite review, which, you know, we're still looking for people to submit their thoughts on this campaign. I heard a lot of people in this, I guess, chat room didn't like it, but
Yeah,
that's-
I thought it was.
well,
bad.
we don't know what you thought. We'll save it for the show.
I'm not going to be on the show.
You can call in.
Dial
Eric.
in.
Dial. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, long time caller, first time listener.
It's the first time calling.
It's a joke. Never mind. Let's move
Okay.
on.
All right.
Next part.
All right. Anyway, and Thursday, Attack on Titan is back, baby. So we're.
How many more
fucking-
episodes are left in the anime?
I think there's
too many.
16.
16.
If I'm not correct, if I'm
How
not
many
mistaken.
episodes were in the first part?
I think it was 16 too.
I think this was like episode 74.
75. No, this one that just came out. It was 76.
I mean, this is season 4, right? It got broken up into 2 parts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many
And there's a
episodes
movie
was the
after.
first part?
I'll tell you right now.
Okay, so there's going to be a movie to end the whole thing.
Yeah, I think just because it's way too long for one episode. So I could be lying. It could not be 16 episodes.
I'm going to say here now. Do I enjoy watching each episode of Attack on Titan? Sure. I look forward to the discourse. Is the show mid? I don't know. You have to wait and see on Thursday.
Thank you.
Well, I mean,
this
have
guy
you already
gets it.
seen the new episode?
I saw it today.
Hmm.
And man, oh man. You have to wait to
I
see it
started
on
Golden
Thursday.
Girls again. Yeah, so that's fun.
It's very heartbreaking.
You're watching
Um,
the wrong GG.
I've watched enough of the other GG. So
It was
I should
15
say indirectly.
It was 15 episodes for the first part of season 4.
Okay.
So, I think another 10 episodes and probably a movie. We'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
6 seasons in a movie.
Yeah. So like I said, we're looking for thoughts on anything of these topics for this week. So feel free to head to our SpeakPipe, speakpipe.com/penultimateconquest to leave your thoughts. Please, I beg of you. Ro, I know you're thinking of one of these 4 topics. So just leave it, just put it in the SpeakPipe. We got some Marvel news this week, but I don't have it. Christian has it, or has
I do.
some
Did
news.
it? Okay, I do have the Marvel news. You ready?
Go for it.
As of today, Monday, January 10th, in this year of our Lord 2022, according to Letterboxd.com, presented by Neon in the 2021 review, I have here the highest rated films overall by genre and in other categories based on 168 million ratings cast by Letterboxd members in the year 2021. You rank these the best of the best. The number 1 movie,
No, start from the bottom.
the number 1 movie, Spider-Man No Way Home,
Yeah, woo.
with an average of 4.2 ratings. Subsequently, number 2 was also Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 Thrice Upon a Time with also a 4.2.
Interesting.
They
But
don't
less
need any
slugs.
more over there. They don't need
Less
any
slugs.
more Evangelion. That's right,
Well,
Travail. I'm talking to you. You don't need
We
any
always need
more.
more. I need more Eva. in
You
my
have
life.
enough mech stuff already, Travail.
Speaking of Evangelion,
Ooh.
Who is that?
it's Rei Ayanami.
I have no idea who that is. I've never seen an episode or anything of Evangelion.
Eric, I'm not upset. I'm just disappointed, you know?
We have made it clear I'm not the anime guy.
Listen, you want me to get into sports? I'll watch football game if you watch one season of Evangelion.
There's only one season.
But then Travail and
doesn't even
Hugo are gonna want me to talk about it.
I mean, you could just...
I don't know if I could deal with that.
You don't need to talk about it. You could just say, hey, Ruben, I watched it, and it was good, or it was bad. That's it. You don't need to tell the whole world, okay? Just tell me. But I will need a synopsis of what happens in the show, just in case
I
you...
don't expect that. I
Yeah.
hear it's hard to follow.
Okay.
Something about religion. I don't even know.
No, it's something about Evangelions.
Hmm.
Gosh. I have the ad read here, but I don't know if I want to put this here. So
We'll do it later. So
yeah,
halfway
let's
through the
do
show.
it later. Okay, all right. Before we get it, I was about to read the ad read. All right, it's finally time.
I have one more bit of news. I'll put it in there. Spider-Man: No Way Home is now the 8th highest grossing movie of all time,
Yes,
which is wild. Like, it's got, let me make sure I got this right. It's the next one up, I think, is Lion King.
let's take him down.
Hold up there.
Let's
Hold up
take
there.
Which
Simba
Lion
down.
King?
The John
Favreau
Favreau
one, clearly, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, really?
Yeah, Favreau one. The 94 version got 994 million, I think.
Oh wow! So the Favreau version's up top.
Favreau version's higher. It made like 1.6 billion dollars, dude.
Oh, that's absurd.
Like that was at like the height of like the Disney live action stuff.
Yeah,
Like
but it
Lion
wasn't
King was
that
coming
good.
out there. So yeah, so it needs another $121 million to overtake Lion King. Which it just opened in Japan. No Way Home just opened in Japan this
We can
past
do this.
weekend. So
We can do this. We believe in
Ohio.
ourselves.
and they've done all this without a Chinese release, Ruben, which is wild.
Yeah. And you know the Chinese.
That is impressive. China has a very big movie market, probably the biggest.
And it's all thanks to the people that keep going to watch this movie, Christian. Go watch it again. I'm just saying.
Once is enough. Hey, listen, I might have
Christian's
COVID. I
life
can't
is
go again.
movies. He
What?
has so many movies to watch.
Yeah, this is true.
That's true.
Are we ready to get into our discussion?
Whip, whip.
Okay, let's do this. With a premiere date of December 17th, 2021, and a budget of $200 million, with a box office currently at $1.403 billion. Directed by John Watts and screenplay by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. This movie was insane. Absolutely insane. That's all I'll say for now. Let's get into some initial thoughts. Eric.
Hi.
Hi. Do you want to?
What's up?
You want to give us your initial thoughts? On this movie?
This is the best comic book movie of all time because they focus on the characters, not so much really. I mean, the plot's important, but they focus really heavily on Peter Parker, which is the strongest part of this movie. It is the best comic book movie of all time. Definitely the best Spider-Man movie of all time. And yeah, they really, looked at what makes Peter Parker, like what makes him arguably the greatest fictional character of all time, one of the most beloved fictional characters of all time, is because he is so damn selfless. Like, he literally, this whole movie is him just wanting to help his friends out. That's what the crux of the movie is. He just wanted to help his two friends out, his family. It wasn't even about him. And of course, like, once we get toward the end, he literally oh my God. He put all that responsibility on his shoulders because that's what Peter does. It's a double-edged sword, really. Like, that responsibility, is the reason why he does all this stuff. And I just think that, they knocked it out of the park. I was kind of nervous going into this movie because, as we all know, third Spider-Man movies don't really have a good track record because they get a lot of studio interference, and so they just told a really awesome story with this one, and I think that I like I mean, Doctor Strange and stuff is in it, but this kind of barely has any ties to the MCU, really. This is about Peter Parker, and that's why it's so good.
Christian.
Buckle up, everyone. For a few weeks, we have been podcasting about the MCU Spider-Man, and I talked a lot of ish about Tom Holland's Peter Parker. Right, I had issues with him, particularly the way John Watts portrayed him in like Homecoming. That just wasn't my kind of Spider-Man. Legit, I love Andrew Garfield's portrayal. There's issues with those movies, but I loved it. Right after coming out of No Way Home, I need to apologize to everyone working with the Tom Holland Spider-Man crew because this story got to where we wanted to go, where I wanted it to go, in ways that like both like surprised me and made me feel and care about this character in ways I didn't know I would. For me, Eric hit it like the nail on the head. What makes it so fantastic is that it isn't just an MCU action movie. It's a drama about Peter Parker's life. As much it is action. All that stuff comes secondary. Everything is focusing on Peter. And he's right, because while the movie is huge in scope, there's tons of players in the movie. There's Doctor Strange. There's the villains from the previous Spider-Man movies. Even though it is huge in scope and we're dealing with stuff from the metaverse, it never fails to maintain that this is a clear, contained, focused film about trying to be a good person and learning how to be a good person. The fact that No Way Home recontextualizes the entire trilogy into one big origin story, amazing. No Way Home manages to crack my top 10 for the year 2021.
Whoa! What's it at? What number?
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Yeah, find out next month.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
All right.
got
Okay.
him.
All right. That's fair. That's
We
fair.
should also preface our thoughts that we tried podcasting about this movie last month.
Yes.
It didn't work.
It didn't work. I wish we wrote down our thought. Our thoughts.
Hey, I have mine.
Yeah, but we had some good stuff going. I guess we'll never.
You gotta give an A, a B, and a C take, Ruben.
Yeah.
You gotta do.
Yeah. So, it's to no surprise that this is probably my favorite movie of all time. I'm sorry, Interstellar, you just got knocked down and you can't get up again. All right. Yeah, this is a perfect movie. I think it brings some nostalgia with obviously the previous Spider-Man coming, but it manages to focus on the main character, which is kind of important. Obviously, because we've had people say in the past that, hey, like this Spider-Man is not really Spider-Man. He's more of Iron Man Jr., which is fine. Like, I get what you're saying, but it brings us to the point, like Christian said, like it manages to turn a trilogy of a movie into an origin story for what we know Peter Parker to be. And I am so happy that they fucking got this right. So happy. John Watts, we had some disagreements in the writing room, but, I'm a big enough man to say that you're right. I was wrong. Okay. I'm still waiting for my check, by the way, so if you could just send that my way, that'd be great.
Let the record show that Ruben was indeed referencing his campaign that Tobey Maguire was going to be Uncle Ben, which he got me. He sold me. I wanted him to be right, but what we got was pretty good.
What we got was pretty good. I will admit that, and I'm okay with it. But we're gonna get back to that later, Christian, about me being wrong about my theory. I'm okay with it, but we'll bring that back up later. Yeah. So, should we just jump right in?
Yeah.
You take us where we gotta go, Mr. Host.
Okay. Obviously, I guess before we get into anything, we will not be holding back. So it's spoilers starts now.
It's been almost a month. People have seen it, I think.
You'd be surprised, Christian. You'd be surprised. So one more time, I'm just gonna spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead. Spoilers ahead. All right.
I like when you throw that graphic up. By the way, it's always cool.
Thank you. It's a pretty nice graphic. One of the first ones I actually made. Very proud of that. So Christian, you have a bunch of notes here, so I think we should.
I do.
Like, I was supposed to put notes in here because I was supposed to watch it again, but then I got COVID and then I couldn't go see it again. So let's just piggyback off of your notes if that's okay.
Yeah. Also, I want to ask, how many times have you guys seen it?
I've only seen it twice.
I have seen it twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just the one time.
One time.
Okay. Here's the one thing Mura's talking about, like that we actually talked about, like the only thing we actually kind of got to before the spoiler stuff, which is the very beginning. The movie starts with, it starts right where Far From Home ended, which is Peter's identity being revealed. I remember Eric having a different read on this scene than me, so I'll just start with my own read of the scene. And this is all credit to what Ruben was talking about last time we tried podcasting about this, which is Michael Gianchino's score. Phenomenal work. It was so good. Like the way Gianchino sets the tone throughout the entire movie is awesome because it feels almost like adventure-esque, but everything has like this like subtle undertone of like a little bit of like dread and like tensity to it. So in the beginning, when like Peter is freaking out that everyone knows who he is, Zendaya's like on the floor and there's like a whole crowd of people surrounding her, and they're like, you know who Spider-Man is, like, and like Peter picks him up and he's like nervous and he's freaking out and he's like calling Ned. Like I was nervous during that. Like I felt like anxious and I didn't know what kind of ride I was getting into. That's just not like the acting, but it's also the score working in intertwined with that acting. I thought was so good.
Yeah, see, like we talked about how I had a different read. So I obviously this is a super serious moment, but I feel as though obviously the movie gets darker and darker as it goes along. But I like the score in the beginning. It was kind of fun, upbeat for me. I was like, we have this super serious moment, but it's still Spider-Man. Okay, like this is still a teenage kid. Like, oh my god. And like when he's talking with Ned on his phone, like, dude. And then, like there are, even though some people are upset, people are like waving at him like, hey, Spidey, and stuff like that. And I felt as though it was the fun kind of hectic, I think. Like, I don't think that, I think it was like, oh man, this is interesting. Let's see how this goes. But yeah, this just goes back to, I can never pronounce his name correct. You just said it and I forget how to pronounce it.
Gianchino?
Gianchino, okay. Like, I remember the Doctor Strange music in this one more than I do the actual Doctor Strange music from the movie. Like, I can distinctly hear the Doctor Strange music in my head now. It was so good, like, and especially like when it hits towards the end, when he puts in, Toby and Andrew's score into this. Oh, it was so good. Oh my god. But yeah, it's great. Like that opening scene really is just this is going to be a fun, interesting ride. So
I have two more questions for both of you because
Okay.
I forgot to ask it before.
Go ahead.
One, how was it on rewatch? And two, I forget what everyone's like first time watches was.
Ruben, you want to go first?
Rewatching it was great seeing it. People spazzing out at like Toby and Andrew being brought in. It was great because I was like, here it comes, and just people fucking flipping out like, fuck yeah, when Andrew comes in. Christian, I owe you an apology. I have said on the show that Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is a horrendous take, but after this movie, I'm gonna have to apologize for that. He's perfect. I'm over here crying. He's fucking perfect. So
You really should give The Amazing Spider-Man 2 a try.
listen,
that
I
man
finally got
puts
it.
his heart into that role.
I finally got it. So it's in a box. Once I move,
Okay.
I'll set up the TV and I'll watch him. What was the second question? I'm sorry.
Your first time watching the opening night?
Yeah.
Did you go opening night? I don't even know.
I went on Friday. So yeah. So
Okay.
kind of opening night. Sure. It was great. It was the auditorium was packed with people, of course, And everybody was like, "Oh, I wonder what's gonna happen here. Who's gonna show up in this movie besides everybody we've already seen?" Everybody flipped out on that fucking Charlie Cox, where he just grabs the brick, and we're like, "Holy shit! Finally, he's finally here." And then a couple days later, I guess, we get what was it in Hawkeye? Spoilers for Hawkeye. We get Vincent D'Onofrio coming back. I'm like, perfect. Yeah, it was perfect. Everything was perfect.
You hear they're bringing the Daredevil and Punisher writers for the Echo show, right?
Yep.
Oh, I did
Yep.
not know that.
Found out today,
Interesting.
which means there's a good chance Daredevil, inshallah, might be an Echo. That'd be great.
So I heard a rumor actually that Punisher is gonna be showing up in Armor Wars.
I think,
John,
if I remember
John
correctly,
Bernthal too.
I could have swore he said like it has to be done right. I think for him because this is how do you MCUify the Punisher in this sense? Because this is very brutal,
Yeah.
and so I don't know how you put your foot off the gas for that character. Because obviously this whole thing is violence. So
Yeah.
I think that needs to be done more delicately than Daredevil.
Okay.
That's why I just think Punisher needs to be handled a little bit differently.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, if he shows up in Armor Wars, that's great. I like John Bernthal as Punisher. That literally is the perfect casting.
Yeah. It's your turn to answer
But
the question.
to answer your question, do y'all remember I had the special honor of having one Michael Papajohn in my theater when I saw it. And if you don't know who that is, he is the actor who played Uncle Ben's quote unquote killer in the Raimi trilogy, and it was just like, oh my god, we had some Spider-Man soul for our theater. It was packed. Everyone was cheering like from the start when Matt, when you see the cane, that's when like the first big cheer started. Like when Green Goblin came out, people started losing their mind. Obviously, like when Andrew came out, people were hooting and hollering. When Toby came out, everyone was just screaming. It's just a great time because I haven't had this obviously since Endgame, really, because like I mean, Rise of Skywalker was there. Rise of Skywalker was Rise of Skywalker. But I haven't had like a moment. I haven't had a movie in about 2 years where everyone was there for like a collective, it was a collective experience. Like everyone was there enjoying this thing, and that's what makes it so much better. So obviously, there's the crowd out there that like, hey, don't clap, do anything in the movie. You're ruining the movie. I just think that everyone is there to enjoy this together, and I think that's what makes these movies, the big popcorn movies, so special is that they mean a lot to a lot of people, and you get a shared, collective experience. I think it's great. Second time watching it, it was better because there was not as many people in there with my buddies, and it was good. Like I knew the beats were coming, and I think like the first time I got to experience it, just like oh my god, just experience all the emotion, everything. And the second time, it was much more so like all right, let me see if I missed anything, and I actually appreciated the movie more on a technical level, and I really like got to watch the performances better rather than just being caught up in the story. So yeah, the rewatch was great. So yeah,
I think No Way Home was probably my favorite movie experience, like being in, like of 2021. Like it was awesome. I'm sure like your guys' first times, like
Yep.
that energy in the room, it's hard to replicate.
Yeah.
Especially going like on a Thursday night when everyone's like, we have no idea what we're getting into. And I distinctly remember like so many people like on the edge of their seats, like when certain scenes were happening. Okay, we're already in spoiler territory, so it doesn't matter. Like when Ned opens up the portal for like show me Peter Parker, and you can tell it's like that's not Tom Holland.
Yeah.
And it's the first time. It's like he's like walking over, and everyone in the theater was like, oh. And then like Andrew pops up, and it's like, dude, are you kidding me? Like I didn't know if it was gonna be real or not. Like there was Andrew Garfield, like fucking guy, the whole time he's like, I'm not in it. Stop asking me.
Yeah.
He was in it.
he needs an Oscar for all that press denial.
I know, dude. But
Speaking of
also
which, he
like
just picked up a Golden Globe yesterday, which is awesome for Tick Tick Boom. So
Congrats, Andrew Garfield. But like Eric mentioned, I think my favorite moment was just, I don't know, this movie like moves so quickly. When that cane hits the floor, it just like wakes you up, and then it just quickly moves to a shot of fucking Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, and it's like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Because like that week before, Kevin Feige was like, yeah, we rehired Charlie Cox,
Cox.
or we recasted him as Daredevil. Like when he comes back, who knows? And it's like, come on, Feige. Like we just don't like he's coming back in one of these upcoming projects. We just didn't know which one, and it was a No Way Home.
And I
Fantastic.
called it.
You did.
I did.
You did.
I did.
Shout out to Toby and Andrew for going to see No Way Home together on like.
I saw that.
I read that, so that's awesome.
Perfect.
That's cute.
I'll ask, what was everyone's favorite scene in the movie? Like single moment. If it helps, I will start. My favorite is the rooftop scene when, right after Aunt May died, and Andrew and Toby talked to Tom.
Yep.
Well, Peter talked to Peter and Peter. So that scene right there with them talking about what's going on, especially like Andrew Garfield, Peter talking about how dark he got after Gwen passed, and I think that was really good. That's probably my favorite scene in the movie.
Ruben.
It's any time Peter 1, Peter 2, and Peter 3 are on screen. All of them are perfect, especially where where Toby's like, you guys can't do that with his organic webs. It was perfect. I didn't expect that to pop up into the film, but I'm so glad that it did. And Andrew's like, well, he's very curious as to like how it fucking works, and he's just like, I don't want to pry, but like, does it come out of anywhere else?
Yeah.
Oh man, the scene where they're talking on the Statue of Liberty, and he's like, I don't want to brag, but I was in the Avengers, and they are both clueless. That's crazy. What's the Avengers? And then Toby has to bring it back on track. How is this helping us? There was something that I noticed that somebody pointed out on TikTok where they're finally in sync. They're swinging off of each other, and I saw that.
You never noticed?
I didn't notice it. Yeah, and it was just, oh my god, so.
Is that one where like Tom is pulling
Yep.
both of them at the same? Oh, it's so good.
And it's all perfect. It's all perfect.
Christian, what about you?
I can give you top three.
Top three.
Starting with number three. All three Peters in the high school in their little lab coats, like working together. That was incredible. That to me, I went to sleep that night. I woke up the next morning. Was like, was that movie real? Was this? Did I dream this? It felt like a fever dream of a movie, but it's fantastic.
I did like the Peter. Yes, Parker. That's also our last name too.
Or when Andrew asked if Toby, like, are you gonna, go dressed as like the cool youth pastor the whole time?
Okay.
Number two, of course, Andrew Garfield grabbing Mary Jane, and then the look on his face is just like sad, and like he's happy that it's both sad because you can tell he's thinking about Gwen, but also happy that he was able to like save this like Tom Holland's Mary Jane, and then of course Mary Jane asking him like, "Are you okay?" Like that that just got me. That like, as a fan of the Amazing Spider-Man movies, like that was an awesome moment. And people who didn't like his movies feel like that redeemed Andrew. So like that's a big win for the Garfield fans. And number one, of course, just anytime Charlie Cox is on screen, that man's awesome. Him catching the brick, and how'd you do that? I'm a really good lawyer. Fantastic, dude.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Also, shout out to Ned asking Toby, like, what happened to your best friend? Oh, he turned into a supervillain and tried to kill me, and that's when he died in my arms. And then him just, like, reassuring Tom, like, don't worry, I will never turn into a supervillain. I promise you.
See, that's funny because Ned Leeds is actually the Hobgoblin in the comics.
Yep.
I thought that was...
And he was wearing the
big.
Hobgoblin colors this whole movie, which was crazy. Real crazy. Christian, I want to jump to this that I see here in your notes. that where is it?
Where are you looking?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. You have a theory here that you don't think Ned and MJ will return.
Can we save theories for the end? Because there's still a
Yeah.
lot of stuff that I want to touch
Okay.
on before we get there.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think in order for us to, because I want to talk about Aunt May and we got to talk about Doctor Strange a little bit, but before we do that, we have to talk about the villains.
Yep.
And we can start anywhere, but obviously the big one we got to talk about is Willem Dafoe. Everyone on Twitter deifying this man as one of the best Spider-Man villains we've ever seen on screen, agreeably by a lot of people, because Goblin gave Peter that fucking work in this movie. It is awesome the way this movie had that sense of dread with just Peter's like spider sense, like that scene in the apartment where it's just like a close-up of him as he's moving through like the apartment. That sense of movement was one fantastic because it made me uncomfortable. You can tell that Peter is like can sense something's wrong, but then Defoe switching to that goblin mode and just giving him that work through the like suplexing Spider-Man through like 3 stories. Are you kidding me? And the fact that Defoe was like, if I come back to do this, I want to be pushing myself to do these stunts. There's no other way I'm like, I won't do it otherwise. Amazing. He's got that line, strong enough to take it all, too weak to take it. Boom. Amazing.
I also want to like shout out to Tom Holland, like selling that scene where his spider sense is going off. Sorry, his Peter tingle. That's what it's
We could
officially
call it
named.
Spider Sense.
No, we're calling it Peter tingle. I'm sorry. Like that scene in and of itself showed me like how, we've seen his Peter tingle like go off in other movies, but like this is where it showed like the most like, holy shit, this is insane. Like
Literally too.
he was able to sense that fucking Green Goblin's persona was coming back to haunt him. Oh my god.
Shout out to the sound editing team for that one too. Like
Yes.
it was so fucking good
Yeah.
how like they were able to create that sense of dread. Just like from the
On
instant
edge.
Tom just was like, hold up. And I like how it wasn't just like usually like with Spider Sense, it's like, oh shit, bullets coming at me, get out of the way.
Yep.
No, this one like I like how this one was more like the Spider Sense was more because he's in the room with Willem Dafoe. He's in the room with Goblin doing it.
Yeah.
And then it's just like he walks out and like you can see like as it's going the way Willem walks to where like his break on the set and it's just like he's got like that face of just like all right, here it comes. And I thought that was really great. Like you could see
No, sorry, go ahead and I'll jump in after.
No, it's just what I just really like that because like you like as I'm doing the rewatch, so I know this is the Spider Sense Goblin scene, and I'm just like watching everything else, and like I didn't notice the first time when Willem walks past Peter, like he's got like a face of like not curiosity or anything, like he's like getting ready
Yep.
to do something bad, and I thought that was really good.
As you were talking, because the way that scene is portrayed, because I watched in preparation, I watched all the Maguire movies and then all the Garfield movies as well. Made me think of 2 things. In Spider-Man 2, there's one scene where like Peter can feel something's wrong, and then like it's got that same look that Tom Holland has, and then like the camera moves like through New York, and then it goes up onto like a building, and then it goes into Dr. Octopus's sunglasses. So that happens in that movie. And The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I won't spoil it, I guess, for Ruben's case, like Electro is coming to a place.
Yeah.
And Peter's talking and he like looks away and he like has that same face like, oh, something is forthcoming, that sense of dread. And he's like looking towards like that direction. And I got those same vibes like during this scene. So I don't know, just I guess an homage to just Spider-Man in general. Those spider sense.
I like how in that
scenes.
scene, basically everyone with anxiety has spider sense. Just it's not tuned up yet.
Yeah.
I have spider sense every day. Something is about to happen bad.
How did you guys feel about the rest of the villains?
What's so great about these villains, especially the Raimi ones, is that I saw this, I forget who put it, and I read this article about something. Their villain persona is just a manifestation of themselves. Like it's not like they turn into a lizard or something like that. Like Green Goblin, Norman, he's trying to live two lives, like being a good dad, being a businessman, and like that kind of split time where he tries to do.
Wow.
There's the Goblin right there. Like that. There's the Norman side. There's the Goblin side right there. And then Doc Ock is just, a brilliant scientist, and his experiment, like literally scientific reason why the chip, like why his stuff isn't working. It's not like he became some freak monster or something. Like there was literally a reason why he became this, and like his whole thing in the movie is just, I want the power of sun in the palm of my hand. That's all I want. It was just on a bigger scale. It's not like, Electro got bit by all those eels and just became the monster. And so I think that really helped with this one. And then like Sandman was just trying to be there for his daughter, and he's trying to be prison, trying to be all these places at once. And now he's sand. And so I think these are just people, and that's why it's so great in this movie. Peter is not trying to punch them at first. Well, Doc Ock, he's trying to punch them. He's trying to help them. Like that's the main thing. That is a very Peter Parker thing. He literally is just trying to help these guys before they go home. Now, granted, it took some pushing from Aunt May, but
Yes.
that's what's so great about it. Like when Peter has these problems, he can go to Aunt May typically, and she helps him out, and then he realizes that it's his responsibility to do so. And I like that, he challenges one of the most powerful person in the universe because he just wants to help people. And I think that really shows how strong. I know we were talking about villains here, but I think that's what's so great about it. It's just they're normal guys. Something happened to them. Just trying to get home. Now, granted, some of them a little more evil than others, but God, Willem Dafoe is the best Spider-Man villain. It's not even close.
For the longest time, I used to think that maybe Alfred Molina was like better. Like I guess post Raimi films, I always thought like Alfred Molina was just the better villain. But after this movie, for me they're tied.
Yeah, they're both good.
Yeah, like oh my god. The villains. I did have somebody pointed this out to me. I think it probably was a TikTok video, or maybe it was cbr.com. Somebody had to point it out and ruin it. Everybody was great in this movie, but there's one flaw that Jamie Foxx, his Electro, didn't know that Peter Parker was Spider-Man.
There's a video where they kind of got around it.
Okay.
There was a reasoning why.
All right. I mean, I still love it. I still love the scene with at the end where he's like, I kind of thought you were a black guy.
That was great.
I got a big cheer in my theater when he said that.
Because he's got that great line where like, there's multiverses. There's got to be a black Spider-Man somewhere.
Yep.
Amazing. Also, Ruben, if you want the answers, go watch Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Okay. All right. Again, it's gonna happen. I'm giving him a second chance after this.
Okay. You want to keep going through it?
Yeah, there's a lot of great parts to that movie, Ruben.
Okay.
It's just some of them aren't executed that well.
Yeah. Do you want to keep going through my notes? Because there's something I want to bring up here.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. I'm glad we brought up Aunt May. But before we discuss her, here's a word from our sponsors.
Oh, am I doing that?
Oh, I'm reading it.
You said it.
This episode is brought to you by Buzzsprout. Podcasting isn't hard when you have the right partners, which is why we've partnered up with Buzzsprout to help you succeed. I know, I use Buzzsprout. Buzzsprout gets your show listed in every major podcast platform, so join over 100,000 podcasters already using Buzzsprout to get their message out to the world. You'll get a great-looking podcast website, audio players that you drop into other websites, detailed analytics to see how people are listening, tools to promote your episodes, and more. Follow the link in the description below to get Let's Buzzsprout know we sent you. Gets you a $20 Amazon gift card if you sign up for a paid plan, and helps support our show. Thank you so much, Buzzsprout.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Where was I?
About Aunt May.
Yes. Thank you. I'm glad Eric brought up Aunt May, because I used to have beef with the way Aunt May was portrayed in the first two MCU movies. Like, Marissa Tomei's fantastic, but her Aunt May left a little bit left to be desired. In this movie, complete turnaround for me. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about like the movie being contained. Even though like Doctor Strange is in it and like he's providing the tools for what makes this movie be a lot bigger than it is on scale, it's still very much focused in Aunt May trying to be like, Peter, you remember, like, you have to be a good person. Like, Peter is doing what he's doing because of what Aunt May tells him to do, which is like, your job is to help these people because you can. Right? You have to learn how to be good. And like, that's the theme of the whole movie. And she has, obviously, like, the biggest thing is that she gets to be the Uncle Ben figure finally when she has that line, with great power comes great responsibility. Did your theater pop for that as well?
Yeah, of course.
There's a lot of clapping.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was amazing. So eventually when we get to her sacrifice, like, everything that she said in this movie resonates so hard, not just with Peter Parker because of who he ends up being, but like with me, with like her theme of trying to be a good person and helping people. I don't know, that sacrifice, like that whole scene, it kind of hit me.
Yeah, it fucked me up real hard. I was crying.
Poor Happy, dude.
Both.
Yeah. Just a brutal scene just leading up to it. Peter's getting his ass spanked by Goblin, and then he has to go into, losing his family in that time, and it's just and the way it happened, oh terrible.
Tragic. Absolutely tragic.
Because I was rewatching it the second time. I think she gets stabbed by the glider.
Yeah.
And I think that's what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the pumpkin bomb. She gets like hit by the glider as it's coming in.
Yep.
I thought it was the bomb.
No.
I mean, no one was hit the one time.
I mean, the bomb made it worse, but yeah, she gets hit by the glider. I feel like if he had taken out the bomb before it exploded, like if he had web swung it back outside, it would have helped her survive, but I think it just made it worse. I want to talk about that scene with where Peter finally turns on. I wouldn't say turn on, but like turns on Doctor Strange, and he's actually like, I have to save these villains.
Yes.
It just shows you how much of a great fucking person Peter Parker is. Like, Strange is like, listen, man, it is what it is. Like, they're going to die whether or not you save them, which I would like to get back to that just to see what we think. But I just love that Peter's just trying to be a pure fucking person and help these people, even though like he knows they've done wrong. He's just fucking trying to help these people.
It's like a scene. It's like a thing when Infinity War also, where like Vision realizes, hey, I have sacrificed myself. Okay, like if I don't do this, billions and trillions of people are going to die. And then Cap in that movie was like, we don't trade lives. We don't do that. Captain America is literally doing all this to save one person.
Yep.
And so Peter, like Doctor Strange, gives him the stuff where it's like, hey, look, if they don't die or they don't go back and suffer their fate, all these people are going to come in and more people are going to die. Like, this is to save so many other universes and worlds out there. And Peter jeopardizes all that because he just wants to save 5 dudes. And I think that's the similarities between Captain America and Peter. That's what I got, at least. Like, they literally are risking universes to save a person.
Whether or not they've done wrong, you could still change who they are. Fucking
and like, not just on a like thematic level, but just like on a fan service level, that scene rocks for 2 reasons. One, seeing Peter Parker's like literal spider sense around him, which is like just cool to look at.
Like,
the fact that like Peter like isn't even in his body, and his body is yet still moving to avoid Doctor Strange. Like, that's just objectively amazing. But 2, the mirror dimension being just geometry, and Peter outsmarting Doctor Strange with math. that is the Spider-Man that I love to see in like any kind of like. There's like a one-off line in the Spider-Man PS4 game when he's talking to Miles in the DLC, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm calculating physics every time I'm swinging. This is why like going to school is so important." Like that one throwaway line tells me so much about Spider-Man, and like having that same kind of feeling when just Peter's like geometry and he like just thinks through the mirror dimension and just boom, it defeats Strange just like that, ties him up, leaves him there. Mwah. Cinematic porno.
I wanted to bring up this listener question before we continue into our stuff. Maybe this.
We have a listener question
Yeah, we have a listener
from
question.
who?
Some guy named Dan. Christian.
Where can people ask questions?
You can go to speakpipe.com/penultimate conquest to leave us a question / thought. And we'll bring it up on the show and we'll discuss. This one is from Dan. I feel like Christian knows this guy. I don't really know who this guy is, but we'll see.
Never heard of him.
Hey, what's up? This is Dan as DTM. I just wanted to drop my Spider-Man thoughts. Like Spider-Man No Way Home is for me the quintessential Spider-Man movie. It's literally the culmination of nearly 2 decades worth of Spider-Man. Insane. I can't even think of a movie that has better fan service than this movie has. And like moments like the one where Andrew, Tom, and Toby Spider-Man are all swinging literally off of one another just blew my mind. I absolutely loved that. And also, like, after that sequence, when they come to their landing and each of them use their own signature landing pose, that's absolute perfection, and I love that they paid attention to those small details for each of them. And you add to that a beautifully told story with real consequences, and you get a movie that is in my top 3 movies of all time. The only thing that I'd like to see in the future from Spider-Man is a live action Miles Morales. Obviously, we have Into the Spider-Verse, which is fantastic, but I would like to see that, portrayed in a live action manner, and possibly have him there for Peter to pass the torch to him in the future. So I think that would be great. Thanks for taking my comment. See it.
So,
hey, what's up? This is
sorry. One
Ian's
thing
back.
I wanted to point out that the scene that he was talking about where they do all their poses, Tom does a Spider-Man PS4 pose.
Yeah, from when he lands on the helicopter.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like that.
He also did the PS4 move when he flips Goblin up in the air and swings him down.
He also does the PS4
Oh,
move
really?
in the beginning of Spider-Man PS4 is the ending of this movie.
I mean, let's be real. Spider-Man PS4 was the blueprint for No Way Home.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
He like Dan, is that his name?
Yes.
Dan?
Yeah, Dan.
Sorry. Short-term memory loss right there. He makes a good point that I actually want to bring up. Fan service. I think like fan service is obviously a very slippery slope. Okay. Obviously, it can go very good, very bad. I think it works here because they're not used just like, hey, look, it's there. They're there. They're there. Like Toby and Andrew are there to literally help Peter.
Yep.
Or Tom. Like they're like, hey, you're going through a lot right now. Literally, your aunt just died in front of you. We are here to help. Like, obviously, listen to our story right here. This is what happened to us. They're not there to just be like, hey, we're here to help save the day. No, we're here to help you, man.
Yes. We've been through this.
And then, obviously, the villains coming in. That just goes into the story of what makes Peter Parker Peter Parker. Like, they're there. It's obviously very fun to watch these villains come back and everything. But it's also, he also mentioned, like, this is also very much a celebration of the last 20 years of Spider-Man. And I think it was very, very nicely done. It's not, hey, what's your last name? Skywalker? Okay, all right, cool, whatever. But he makes a lot of good comments there. And I think that that's what works about this movie. Like, it's just a super solid movie with a lot of heart.
Yeah, because on the surface level, it's cool that we're getting villains from all the Spider-Man movies we grew up with, right? It's cool that we're getting the Spider-Man back that we know and love. But the fact that the movie makers, John Watts, the whole team doesn't forget that like everything there should be in service of the theme of the like the story that we're trying to tell, like the message that we like want to leave Peter off. The fact that like that's always like the goal for what like for this movie. I think that's what why the fan service works so well.
I have to agree.
Which is wild that they originally wanted to do Kraven the Hunter before
Ugh.
all the multiverse stuff.
Yeah,
It would have been weird.
it worked out. It worked
Yeah.
out.
Absolutely.
One thing I forgot to bring up, real quick, was like the very beginning, like the opening, like 20 minutes before we even get into the multiverse stuff. Like some of my favorite things about No Way Home, which is like Peter trying to accept the fact that like he's just outed as a superhero now, like he's just trying to live his life as Peter Parker. And it just goes back to what we talk about this movie, like why it's so good. It's Peter first and Spider second, and like how those two things just can't be like not even in other multiverses. Like there's always going to be some kind of trauma and friction there. And Peter trying to attain that sense of normalcy while being outed is so good. He's like desperate to hang on to not just his life, but his life with the people he cares about: Happy, Ned, and MJ, and Emma.
You and I talked about it last time. I think we also both appreciated the fact that when he's Spider-Man, he's masked off. Like he had his mask off most of the time, so you can actually just see Peter's face throughout the whole thing. And
Yeah.
so I really like that. And it was also kind of weird because obviously I'm not used to a story where everyone knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man, where he just like is on the bridge. Like, all right, let me suit up real quick. Oh my God, Peter, there's that. Oh, that's right. People know who you are now. Or when he just like web swings into MJ's workplace, and it's like, what? Man,
Yeah, right?
He's just got no fucks right now. No fucks given.
And also, what sets off like the events of this story is not the Spider-Man stuff. I mean, kind of it's related, but it's literally the Peter stuff, which is I can get into MIT. More importantly, my friends can get into MIT. Let's see how I can fix this.
You know, if he just calls the place and just makes his case and stuff.
Yeah.
I said this during the last podcast. That scene resonated so much because I would have never called either.
Yeah.
I would have taken it for word. Like, oh damn, I guess I'm not in
Exactly.
MIT. There's nothing I can do.
Exactly. I would have been like, oh well, this is law. I guess I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
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 It
Shout out
also-
to Wong, the new true Sorcerer Supreme right now.
Yes. Oh
Go,
my
buddy.
God.
On
mean,
a
I think-
technicality.
I think, I don't know, maybe Steven will take it back, or maybe Steven just does his own thing in Multiverse, where it's like, you know what, just call on me when you need me.
Yeah.
I don't need to be Sorcerer Supreme anymore.
Well,
Real quick, Ruben, is Eric delayed on your screen?
he is. I was just gonna ask you that question as well.
I
Eric,
do
turn
seem
off
a little delayed.
your camera and turn it back on again. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens.
that'll fix it.
Hooah.
There you go.
Okay,
what were we just?
I was gonna
talking
say before we get into climax stuff, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to like quickly mention if that's cool as well.
about? Go for it.
The nanotech overtaking Otto. I know people called that out, like people were like theorizing that that's going to happen, and I remember like being like, that's
don't
like
like
not,
it.
that's the MCU-ifying stuff. I didn't like it, and then it happens in the movie, and it's like, you know what? This makes sense with like what's happening. Like I actually like really enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty awesome.
I don't know if you know this, Christian, but I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
Oh my God, that was the third loudest cheer in the movie. That was.
I don't know why.
It's so. Well, you don't know why it was the third loudest cheer, man?
Yeah, I mean, I remember it from the movie, but like, I don't know why it was the third loudest cheer.
It is a top tier meme.
Okay,
First
that's
off, I
probably
think it's
why.
been memed for the last 20 years.
Okay.
And so like he just nonchalantly is just like leaning against the wall as he says it, which is so good. You know, I'm something of. It's like what? Yeah. So good.
And
That's the
also-
fan service stuff that was just fun.
Yeah.
You know.
This
Also-
movie's so funny too.
Yes.
It's also very fun. It still has that John Watts Homecoming and Far From Home humor.
Yeah.
Which is really good too. It doesn't lose that. It's just like, oh my God, it's just like a mutant tree. No man, it's just a tree.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
That was really good. I also like, well, you know, you're pretty talented. If you don't mind, you know, traveling through universes, you might have a job at Oscorp, which
That's
is
really nice.
Fucking
Oh
cool as
yeah.
hell. Cool as hell.
I actually forgot about probably the most iconic scene for me. I know I had a favorite scene, but I think the one that really defines who Spider-Man is in this is right after Aunt May dies, and he is in the rain looking at the billboard of JJ talking.
Oh,
Because obviously, we know like Spider-Man, literally so much crap happens to him. Obviously, like in the comics and stuff, he's everyday man. He's got to worry about rent, school, his
Be right back.
relationships and stuff. And I think it was really distilled in that, where it's just like he literally is trying to do the right thing all the time, and everyone still hates him. Everyone still doesn't like him, and he just lost his only family figure. And JJ is talking about, like, especially when it's like, when will people learn that everywhere Spider-Man goes, destruction happens? And I'm like, oh my god, that was one of the moments I cried a lot, because that really is who Spider-Man is, because he did all that, and then he still gets up and goes and saves the day.
yeah.
And I think, like, especially like the way how that shot, like, I know it was probably on a green screen or something, but like having the camera be like way behind Peter and just like looking up, like JJ's face talking about how bad Spider-Man is just filling up the whole screen. It was just, oh,
No,
it was
it
so
looked
good.
good. And you're right. Like that scene hurts because like what JJ says is pretty much true. Like, and despite that, Spider-Man still always ends up suiting up because like that's his job. That's what he does. Like he has to because he can. Like he's the only one who can.
Shout out to JJ being the sixth person in the Sinister Six. You know, not the chick.
JJ's his own villain. He's
Nice.
he's a triple S tier Spider-Man villain.
Yeah.
Further, I guess on what Eric just brought up, right after that scene when they have to find where like Tom Holland is, and he's like on the rooftop of the school. I like that scene so much. Obviously, because I wanted to see the three Spider-Man interact for the first time, but because they took their time to do that. Obviously, all four of them show up together: the two Spider-Man, MJ, and Ned. But first and foremost, like it has to remember that this is a story about like Peter's life. And so the people that are important to Peter get to interact with him first and console Peter on Aunt May's death first. Like we spend time seeing MJ and Ned hold Peter as Peter's crying. And then Ned gets to grieve alongside Peter because Ned also had a relationship with Aunt May. And like the fact that like, we needed to, oh, look at you. It came
very
in.
good.
It
That
finally
poster
came
looks
in.
so good.
It finally came in. I'm also going to turn this into a canvas, so I gotta I gotta scan it somehow, and figure out how to scan it. I guess. Just
FedEx should be able to scan it for you. They do.
My
pretty good
girlfriend
job.
works for. Sorry, my girlfriend. My fiance works for FedEx.
Nice.
And
There you go.
She was like, "No, you need to scan it. If you do it this way, like if I bring a digital copy, I guess it'll be crisper and cleaner, I guess." So.
Yeah.
He proposes to his girlfriend after he gets the poster because
I
he
know,
needs
right?
someone to scan.
Yes, that was the
Now we
plan
know.
all along.
I think those are all the stuff I wanted to bring up. The MIT stuff, the nanotech. Eric helped me bring up the death scene.
Yeah.
The only thing we haven't talked about, the climax.
Perfection at its finest, some might say.
Oh wait, I forgot one more thing.
What?
I have like very small, like, I don't think it's a perfect movie, but it's close. There's like very small complaints I have. One of those is like the cinematography for some parts, but for the most part, I think it like is really good. Just to make that clear. I say that because that one scene of Peter swinging through the power lines off to find like there's like somebody out there, and it's like that sunset. Peter's like silhouetted along with like this like the rest of the power lines, and that music is playing, and it's like eerie. Amazing scene, so good.
Absolutely amazing. Here, I thought
Okay.
you were gonna shit on that. I also want to
No.
point out. Okay. The way you started that sentence, it sounded like you were gonna take a shit on that scene. I would have liked if the inside out suit wasn't like an inside out suit, you know? Like it kind of
mean?
like I was really hoping that it was going to be Doctor Strange's like, "Oh, here, I put a spell to protect you, and it's turned the suit black and gold. You know.
I like that it just
No.
speaks to like how poor Peter is. Like, look, I have only
Yeah.
one suit. Oh, how do you know what? This looks good inside out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have Tony Stark stuff right now to make another one, so I'll turn this
Yeah,
inside out.
somebody was tweeting about this week. Like, was it made to make? Was it made to sell toys? Probably.
Mm.
Did it make sense in the movie? I thought I enjoyed it.
No,
The fact
yeah,
that, like it was stained. He only got the one suit.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I mean, he's got the 2 suits.
Oh, that new suit is so crisp and
Oh,
clean. Oh,
We'll
my
get there.
God.
We'll get there.
Perfection. Oh, I wasn't even talking about that new suit.
It looks
I was,
so good in Spider-Man Remastered, by the way.
I'm
Oh,
not even talking about that one. I'm talking about the
Wait, which
one.
suit?
I'm talking about the nano suit, like the upgraded nano suit he
Yeah,
got
with
for
the
the end of
golden?
the like had
Oh,
the
with
gold.
like the
Yeah,
almost.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was talking about.
We'll get into that suit
Okay.
later, Christian.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like, oh, the nano
Wait,
suit
they-
upgrade. Oh man, it was so crisp.
They
I
put
was
that
worried
suit in
like the
Spider-Man?
gold was gonna throw it off.
They put that suit in Spider-Man No Way. That was Spider-Man No Way. In
Yeah,
PS4.
they put the inside out suit and the gold nanotech suit
Oh,
in
shit.
Really?
Spider-Man Remastered.
Fuck. Okay, I'm playing this game this week.
I want to. I want Spider-Man Remastered, dude. I've been swinging around
Did
as
you buy
Miles this
Miles?
week. I did, but standalone.
You bought the standalone though one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
what-
think if you just upgrade to I think on the main screen you can upgrade to the deluxe edition. It's only $20, and it just gives you Spider-Man Remastered.
Say less.
Because that's how I did it. Because I bought it for PS4, and so I got the PS5 upgrade. And when you're on the PS5 menu for Miles, there should
Yeah.
be at the bottom. It says like press square to upgrade to Ultimate Edition, and it's only $20, and you get
That's not
Spider-Man Remastered. So
I want those suits.
they look really good on the 5, man.
The Andrew Garfield suit.
I want them to put the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit in there, because Amazing
That
Spider-Man
one's
1
good
suit
too.
sucks so much.
I just don't
Oh, it's
like.
so bad.
I feel like his eye shields are like way too big for the mask.
Are you talking about in the one in No Way Home
I'm talking about in
or
all,
Spider-Man 1?
all of them. Like
I
well,
think the Amazing,
Amazing
Spider-Man 2
Spider-Man
suit is awesome.
1 and 2, and then this one.
It's got like those big expressive comic book eyes.
Dude,
I really
They're
really
not
like those.
expressive,
yeah, it's good.
are they? No.
I mean, they don't move like Tom's does, but like it's like the big comic book style.
It's
like
just
it
too
looks like
big.
Ultimate
It's like-
Spider-Man suit.
Imagine me having glasses this big.
He's a bug, man. Literally, bug man.
I did like also
That
how
was
he
good.
comes into a new dimension. He's like, string theory, it's all correct. There's magic here?
Yep.
He's like, I knew it. What do you say about magic? I forget.
Either way.
You guys have been to space?
The test. Oh my god, the test where he's just like hanging there. She's like,
Oh,
crawl across the wall. Crawl across the
This isn't
sea.
enough.
I'm not gonna do that. You
You got the
already
Peter
have.
Tingle? Yeah, I got the Peter Tingle.
dude. Toby and Andrew like fighting each other and then flipping at the same time and landing on the ceiling.
The perfect flip.
That's
great.
cinematic porno.
And I feel like once they did that, they realized, oh, we're the same person. Cool, got it, understood. Yeah.
So how'd you guys feel with the climax? The big fight on Statue of Liberty with the Captain America shield.
Perfection. It is literally the greatest thing I've ever seen, Christian. And then, of course, we have the man, the myth, the legend, Tobey Maguire, coming in to save the day. You don't want to do this. And he just gives him that look. Like, fucking stand down, but like, I got you, man. Just cool.
I read that as like he understands what Tom's
Yeah.
Peter is going through
Yeah.
right now. It's like, look, I've been there, man,
You're
but
you don't want to do
can't do
this. You're
Yeah.
gonna regret it.
Dude, when Otto is fixed and he talks to Toby and he says like, "How have you been?" Oh my god.
You're all
Well, how does
grown up.
Toby-
And it's like you're all grown up, and like and they got the Tobey Maguire music playing in the backgrounds. They're talking. It's so good. It's like, how are you doing? Like, trying to be better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's amazing.
But I think like I love that they get more like time where they just talk to one another. It's like, what's the craziest villain you guys have ever fought? I love that so much because like they're just like brothers just talking to one another. It's like, oh, I fought alien thing. Oh my god, that's so cool.
I want to fight an
Oh.
alien. You guys are so cool compared to me. I'm lame. You're not lame. You're amazing. Say it with me.
He
Dude.
doesn't say it. He doesn't
I
say
need,
it.
I need that. I needed that. Like this whole self doubt. We need a self talk. Needs to be better. That was
When
so good.
Andrew's, I've always wanted brothers. I love you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. They were so confused. I also was very confused by that, and then it turns out it was just improv. But I
Well, he
like it.
does. He definitely like. I know they talked about it, like he plays it like middle brother syndrome, which I thought was really cool. How Andrew had like
Huh.
the middle brother thing going on.
Interesting.
Dude, when I have a fourth favorite part of this movie I just remembered.
Go for it.
When they're establishing who Peter 2 and Peter 3 is, and Tom points to Toby and he's like, Peter 2, and then he points to Andrew, Peter 3. Dude, I want to watch this movie again.
We
I
should.
also, um, I think it was just really nice of them to have that moment again, because like it was cool because like when they're in the classroom, they had like the Peter Parker moment together, like they're doing science, everything is cool. When on the Statue of Liberty, they're having Spider-Man moments,
Yep.
which I
Yes.
thought was really nice. And so, yeah, it was just great. And then like it brings up a good point because people don't like the Ultimate Spider-Man comic, Ultimate Spider-Man show because Spider-Man was a team all the time, not by himself like everyone's used to. I like how it's like I'm not used to working with the team. I have no idea what to do. I'm used to being by myself. So I thought that was really nice.
I have a question.
Go for it.
Did anyone else think Tobey Maguire was gonna die?
I was very scared that Tobey Maguire was gonna die, and then
It
he
had me
goes,
going.
"I've been stabbed before," and I'm like, "Okay, I guess he's not dying."
You're in an extreme amount of pain, aren't you? Mm-hmm.
I was literally like, tears were about to fall. My eyes were fucking full of water, and then I realized he wasn't gonna die, and it just like reverted
I think
back into
the one
normal.
thing I wish there was more of, because I don't really have a lot of complaints in this movie. I wish Norman and Toby's Peter had a moment together. They didn't really
Yeah.
have a moment together. I wish they had that. So
Yeah.
anyway, um, but yeah, this could be like he gets stabbed, and so they just write up, "Oh, I've been stabbed all the time." Maybe Sony is like, "Hey, we got something good here. Let's bring him back for another one."
Well,
There are rumors, right?
there are rumors that they're supposed to come back for another movie. Both Andrew and Toby.
Secret Wars, right? Or right? Was it Secret Wars?
We'll never know. Maybe it's Secret Wars. I was told I wasn't doing anything. I read that it was going to be for Multiverse of Madness, but this was before.
Oh, I would love Toby in Multiverse of Madness. That'd be so
I
nice.
believe this was before they changed it up, and when Multiverse was going to be the first movie, and then this movie.
I
So,
think if I remember correctly, they shot their stuff in this movie around Christmas time last year.
yep.
I think that's what happened. So
You mean like 2 years ago?
yeah,
No, this
Christmas
is
2020, I think is when they shot their stuff for
Yeah.
this
yeah. That
movie.
doesn't make any sense yet. 2 years ago.
I I just like it was just so nice because like even throughout all the fight, like Toby's Peter's like Flint, we're literally trying to help you, man. Like it has that established. Like if you've watched these movies, like he cared about all those people. Like Doc, I just want to have a conversation with you, man. How have you been? This is great. Flint, like you're not a bad guy. We're literally trying to help you right now, and so, and then I enjoyed Max when he's looking at Andrew in the beginning of the fight. Is like I think he says like you're not even in shape, and Andrew's like, huh, or something like that.
Yeah. Dude, for me, what was nuts was because obviously Goblin gives Peter that work, and then Peter gives Goblin that work at the end because Peter is mad that Aunt May is dead, and like legit, I thought it was gonna be like a happy like thing where like Peter's gonna be the bigger man and he do the Captain America thing where he think he's gonna stab RDJ, but he like just turns the RDJ stuff off and it's like, you know what, I'm bigger than this, I'm gonna walk away. But Peter's like, no, I left you alive because I want to kill you myself. And I'm like, what is going on? This is not the Peter Parker I know. Toby having to step in and be like, no, this like isn't who you are. Like just like and like taking that from Peter's hands. Wow. I have nothing else to say.
All
Perfect.
right, so
That's
let's
perfect.
get to how Peter Parker literally to save the day makes everyone forget about him. Like
He's
he
got
puts
no one.
all he puts
No,
that all on himself.
he doesn't have no one. He has got a couple people.
I just think it was so great how this world's about to break down. It's like, hey, I will go back to being a nobody. Will this work? Yeah, yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll put that weight on my shoulders. And and then just when Toby and them, like when he's about to say bye to them, they just do this is what we do. Like there it is, right there. This is what we do. Just so good. Mm.
Poor Peter, man. Peter's life is always so depressing. Why do I love seeing that on screen? Is it because I'm depressed? Legit. No, I'm being serious. Like, I'm looking at this man live in this studio apartment in New York who he probably won't be able to afford rent in a few months. Doesn't even have a high school degree because there's no records of Peter Parker, so he has to go get his GED. He's got that in his box. He's got his police scanner up. It's the dead of winter, and he has to build himself a brand new suit. And I'm like, yes, suffer. I love it. I don't know, but like, it's so
I
amazing.
think it's because we just love the inspiring that every time he
Yes.
gets knocked down, he gets right back up.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's also
You're
that
absolutely right.
like the reason why Spider-Man is so like relatable is because like real shit happens to him. Like people actually do end up in the situation where they can't afford the rent for that month, you know? So they got to figure out something to do. And I'm not saying they're fucking swinging around New York City, fucking saving people and kicking ass, but it's the things that happen to him are relatable. Like we all, I'm not saying we probably don't all know somebody who got their GD, but like he's relatable, and that's why I fucking love him. Yeah.
Let's talk about this new suit.
Oh my god, this new suit.
So, are you guys fans of like the red and bright electric blue, or do you like the darker blue for Spider-Man suits? Because obviously there is a complete blue change in this one. This is a very bright,
Oh, it's
It's almost
fabric.
shiny.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
I looked at it as it's fabric because he's sewing it together, so I just assumed that it's got to be fabric.
No, I mean that it was just I'm like the colors because obviously different Spider-Man suits have different colors. Like, obviously, like the PS4 Spider-Man suit's a little bit darker blue.
Yeah,
But
Yep.
if you had a preference of the lighter blue or darker blue with like your favorite Spider-Man suits.
I am more. I have a more preference to his, I guess, Civil War suit, where it's black and red and blue, but not crazy blue. You know,
Okay,
like
so
the black tint, like the black lines on his arms is just
They're
like
prominent, right?
prominent and perfect. Like that
Yeah.
is what I would have assumed the, you know, MCU suit to be. But this suit, like, we haven't really seen. We just see that clip of him, and he's moving around too much. It's kind of hard for me to tell whether or not I like it. When I first saw it, I was like, "Fuck yeah, this suit looks awesome," and I still think that. And then somebody sent me. Oh no, I sent it to you guys where it's different parts of the suit are also like combined from Toby's and Andrew's suit, and I was just like, "Fucking hell yeah!"
it's like Toby's spider on the front, Andrew's spider on the back.
Yep.
I want to see this in high res. That's my answer.
Yeah, exactly.
It
my
goes on
impressions are,
digital next month.
I mean, but like, I'm not gonna be able to see like he's like Ruben said, he's moving around too much. Like, I need to see him just like standing there.
Yeah,
I need to see like promo material of like a mock-up. Otherwise, I do prefer the darker suits, but like, I mean, I'm not gonna complain when we get in a new Spider-Man suit. Always happy to see it in action.
the question is, are we gonna see another Spider-Man movie from Tom Holland?
I think he'll do one more.
You think so? One more.
One more.
He's got one more team up movie in his contract.
I think he's done with his contract. He said he's not contracted anymore to do anymore.
Unless they filmed it already. But I could have sworn that after the whole debacle after Far From Home, they had him redo. not redo the contract, but like do another movie and then do another Avenger style movie. I could be wrong.
I think they did say that the wait between like there won't be such craziness in between this one and the fourth one as there was between Far From Home and No Way Home.
Mm.
And Marvel's got that money, so even if like Tom wants to like take a little break from acting, just period.
That's what
Hey,
he said.
here's $50 million to do a new Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
We will give you RDJ money. Okay.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if he'll take it because he's been doing interviews left and right, and he's been saying like he's gonna take a break from acting, and he also was like, "Do I want to be known as the guy who's in his 50s and he's still playing a superhero movie?" Like, I think his perspective has shifted. You know, when we first saw him, he was all about like, "Fuck yeah, I'll play Spider-Man. I that's my dream job." Yeah, and then it's been 10 years. If I
Oh my
remember
God.
correctly. If I remember correctly,
That's not true.
There's no way.
There's no way Civil War did not come out in 2012.
No. When they filmed it,
They did
They
not
fil-
film Civil War in 2012.
I
They
could
filmed
be
it in
wrong.
2015.
That's
They
when-
filmed
that's
Civil
when the
War in
ama-
2015.
Listen,
That's when the Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out.
I
Was
said I
2012.
could be wrong.
So,
but anyway,
he was like 19 when he did Homecoming, I think, Civil War and Homecoming. So
okay,
I
yeah.
think he's got one more in him, like because that's why everyone's asking me like, oh, they're gonna do like everyone at work will be like, oh, they're doing 3 more movies I hear. I'm like, well, they just had super high ticket sales, and so obviously you want to strike that while the iron's hot. But and then
Fucking
after
Amy Pascal.
this movie comes after this big weekend, like yeah, we will do another one. We have one more. We'll set it up one at a time, and I think that's the best course of action. That way, you're not crazy locked in for another trilogy or something. Just one, and we can send you off into the sunset with this one. Give us the one movie of this MCU Spidey just being a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Something like that, and I think that'd be great. Bring in Miles. So who
Gonna
knows?
gonna be sad to not get my Felicity Jones on screen, but that's okay. I would love to see Miles.
Question for you guys: how crazy would it be if they said Sony said, "Yeah, we're doing a trilogy, but it's not what you expect." Bring back Toby for Spider-Man 4. Bring back Andrew for Amazing Spider-Man 2. Amazing Spider-Man 3, and bring back Tom for an MCU Spider-Man 4.
All in the MCU, or
Just like have
Technically,
Andrew.
they're all in the MCU.
Yeah, have Andrew focus on Craven or whatever the fuck villain is he's going to be fighting apparently in the Sony Spider-Man universe. Have Toby
I remember
do
when-
something. I don't know.
I just remember when
I
John Malkovich was supposed to be Vulture for Spider-Man 4.
for Toby's Spider-Man 4?
Interesting.
It was
Insane.
either that or they were also looking at Jim Carrey to be Carnage.
Oh my God.
I
remember
can't see
that.
Jim Carrey play Carnage after all I've seen him. Well, I mean, in his most recent thing as Dr. Robotnik, I can't see him playing Carnage.
Either way.
Yeah.
It would probably be better than Woody Harrelson playing Carnage.
Yes.
We don't talk about Venom 2.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Because I haven't
which,
seen it.
speaking of Venom,
Terrible post-credit scene.
speaking
you.
of Venom,
Thank
I
you.
think hold on, Ruben. Hold on. I think it was perfect. Because here's what happens. We are no longer with the MCU tied with Eddie Brock's Venom. He is gonna be in his own thing. Like obviously, and like we get that one shot of this symbiote like moving on. That's gonna be the symbiote that's gonna be in our MCU Spidey stuff. And Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy Venom can just stay in the Sony side. I think me personally, I think that's what it was for. Like, hey, don't worry, we're not going to put this Venom in the MCU. It was just a fun little nod. Don't have to worry about him anymore. But the funny thing is, Tessa and I, that wasn't the first thing we screamed when they showed Danny Rojas as the
Yes.
bartender. That's what we both screamed. Tessa and I were like, Danny Rojas!
That was awesome.
Football is life, Ruben.
So
wouldn't
who
know.
are we thinking gets infected? Because I know there are people were saying that Flash would be the one that becomes the next movie villain if Flash is even going to be in these future movies.
Also, shout out to Flash actually putting out a Flashpoint book before DC's Flashpoint movie. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. I needed that. I don't know. Like, it's weird the way that they did this because, on the one hand, I see, again, I keep trying to say reports, but it's not reports. I see theories on Tom Hardy's Venom wasn't being pulled in from the Sony Spider-Verse by Doctor Strange. It was just Venom's vast multiverse knowledge that, like, oh, I should be here now. So,
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Now I don't have to think about Tom Hardy Venom. Which is the cool thing is, obviously, you could put Andrew Garfield on the Sony side and have him fight that Venom.
Yeah.
Who knows? And have Toby's thing be just like a standalone, whatever. I think that's a cool. That's one of the cooler ideas you've done, Ruben.
That'd be
Like have
fucking
it be
awesome.
a trilogy.
Yeah.
Like Toby has his standalone, Andrew deals with the Sony side, and Tom has his own thing, and they each get one more movie.
Yeah.
I think that would be really cool. Because obviously, the Amazing Spider-Man movies critically did not. They made a lot of money. They made $800 million both times.
Listen, you know what they should have done with those movies? Just have all the stupid his dad's a secret agent stuff as an actual like one
Sir.
shot.
You gotta watch the second one, man.
I'm going to watch it, but like I already know what they were going for after I saw one.
Yeah,
but
it's
like
terrible. They're gonna do an Aunt May movie at one point.
yeah, just have it as a one shot though, you know, before the movie comes out.
No, they were chasing the MCU high. I think at that point, trying to do their own Sony verse. They're still. I mean, I guess they're still trying. It just wasn't working.
Yeah,
They had
Baby.
terrible written villains as well.
and it's still not working.
Morbius, April 1st. Let's do it.
That's gotta be a joke, isn't it?
What
I
a
thought it was
joke!
pushed.
Get it? Yeah.
I thought it
Oh,
was
it
pushed.
was
April
so it was so funny.
Wait,
The
it was
news broke
actually
that-
pushed to April 1st?
Yeah.
Oh,
The news
no.
broke that it got delayed right before the Morbius trailer came on when I saw it again. And when it says Morbius January, I'm like, no.
That's the joke.
Either way.
I will say I don't think Ned and MJ are coming back. I don't buy it.
I don't think they should.
I don't
Can
know.
I envision a Spider? Like, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to do without them. But like, I feel like this movie really hammers that like they can't come back. Like that's the whole
Oh,
point
it's
of this
interesting.
movie.
It's interesting that
Like-
you. Sorry, go ahead.
No, please.
I'm thinking they come back, just not in Spider-Man. Like we see Ned in a Doctor Strange movie because he has the magic.
He doesn't. I mean, how? He doesn't have access to Doctor Strange's stuff because he doesn't remember who Peter Parker is. So he's got no access to this lingering.
Yeah, but Doctor Strange remembers that he's magic. Oh fuck.
No, because it's through Peter Parker.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have a feeling MJ's coming.
And they're
back
going
for
to
Iron
MIT.
Man.
They're leaving to MIT.
Yeah, and
I would have liked to see Spider-Man in Boston. That would have been a fun one.
They got crime in Boston.
They got crime in Boston.
but if I remember correctly, isn't Ironheart supposed to like take place in MIT?
Oh fuck.
I don't know.
Oh fuck, Ruben.
Yeah, guys, I've been soaking all the knowledge.
I think it'd be fun, like if they're done and like Peter is like moving on, because they got a nice goodbye, like at the end there. They were very important to the
Magic.
trilogy, but now it's time for Peter to move on. And
That
I love
one
the fact
small-
that. Oh, I'm sorry, Christian.
No, please.
I said I just also another heartbreaking moment. He doesn't want to burden them again,
Yes.
so he doesn't
Yes.
tell the story. I thought that was really brilliant.
it's
Seeing that
it
one
sucks so
band-aid
bad.
on Zendaya's forehead, triggering Peter to just be like, I can't do this.
It sucked so
I
bad.
can't do it.
Like
That's
in
in
a
a
good
good
way,
way?
That's
in a good way.
Spider-Man.
Yes, it sucks so
Yeah.
bad. I was just like, just fucking tell them. Just tell them. You just tell them. You promised them that you were gonna tell them, and he doesn't.
You
do
love
it.
them.
And I was just like, fucking.
I also love that he just gets out the window at the end to go web swinging. Like he's just such a friendly neighborhood spy. He just jumps out the window. It's not like, oh, I gotta go to Avengers. Like he's just The Spider-Man that everyone knows and loves now.
Yeah.
I mean, so. Well done, John
Cool
Watts.
movie.
Well
Thank you, John
done.
Watts.
So unfortunately, we don't have a Stan Lee cameo to rank in here.
Listen, and that's what kills me the most because Stanley would have fucking loved this movie. Eric would have fucking loved this movie.
It still makes me kind of sad that his first movie where he didn't have a cameo was a Spider-Man movie. It was Far From Home.
Like, forget about that. This is like the creme de la creme of Spider-Man movies.
He knows, Ruben. He watched it. He knows.
I miss you, Stan. Sorry.
Yep. Do we have any final thoughts before we rank the villain?
Cool movie.
Cool movie.
Good job, MCU. MCU had an interesting year. I know we're gonna get into like 2021 MCU in review probably as an episode. I think.
Yes.
But what a solid way to end it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone. We haven't done this in a while. It's time to rank the villains. It's been a while. It's been a while since we had a good villain rank, and this one's gonna be tough.
Is it?
Because I think here's the thing. I think it's just Norman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I think Norman Osborn is the villain in this movie. Because I think the rest are just like troubled souls who are there. And Norman's the one who kind of pushes them a little bit. Which is what I think is so strong about it. It's not just like a single villain. Like obviously Norman was there, he's kind of helping them out. He had a few fight scenes with them, but this was mainly about Peter Parker. And I think that's what's just so strong about it. It's just these dudes. Either way, it's time to rank them. So we're going to go through. Ruben, how would you like me to do this? Since it has been a while, would you like me to do all the villains again?
Before we do that, let me just double check to see if this ranking is correct. I don't want to.
I think it is.
Like,
Should
do we
be
have 19?
There's 19.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, Eric, go ahead. Right ahead.
All right. Since it's been a while, everyone, this is our first show of 2022. We're going to do fun, and we're going to show all the villains that we've done in this show. Number 19, who can remember Malekith and Curse from Thor: The Dark World. Those dark elves, buddy. Number 18, Abomination / Thunderbolt Ross from The Incredible Hulk. Number 17, Whiplash / Justin Hammer from Iron Man 2. Number 16, Caecilius and Dormammu from Doctor Strange. Number 15, Darren Cross from Ant-Man. Number 14, Aldrich Killian from Iron Man 3. Number 13, Ronan the Accuser from Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 12, Obadiah Stane from Iron Man, Tony himself. Number 11, Arsham / Icarus from The Eternals. Number 10, Ultron from Age of Ultron. Number 9, Red Skull from Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 8, Ruben's favorite bad guy, Taskmaster / Dreykov from Black Widow. Number 7, Loki from Thor. Number 6, Loki from Avengers. Number 5, the Winter Soldier from Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Number 4, Mr. Non-Shower himself, Jake Gyllenhaal / Mysterio in Spider-Man: Far From Home. Number 3, Wenwu from Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Number 2, Zemo from Captain America: Civil War. And number 1, Vulture from Spider-Man: Homecoming. So, where do we put Norman Osborn / the Green Goblin?
I'm happy with anything above top 5.
Listen, before we get into it, I just want to say how we lowballed Mysterio. Number 4? Are you fucking kidding me right now?
We have discussed this. You are not gonna beat Christian and I for Wenwu. You're not gonna
just like Mysterio.
You're not gonna convince us that he's above Wenwu.
Okay, all right. I just wanna let it be known I am in protest against this. But
so, Ruben, we're gonna start with you then. Where do you think Norman Osborn / Green Goblin is on this list?
I think it's pretty obvious. Eric.
What?
This has got to be number 1.
Okay. All right. Why is that?
Vulture came in and showed us how Tony Stark is not a superhero, but he's a villain.
Mm-hmm.
And Green Goblin just made me cry, you know? There's not much I could fucking say. You killed Marissa Tomei, you monster. I hope you suffer in hell. Okay? I hope you suffer.
All right. So you have him as number 1.
I have him as number one.
All right, Christian, what about you?
You know, if even if Eric wanted to say number one, I'd say, you know what, book it. Why not? Because I almost said Harry Osborn, and it's first of all, it's Norman. Willem Dafoe puts in that performance first and foremost. Second, like how tragic is it that Norman is trapped inside this like a goblin body who like just wants to go home, just wants to be with his son, like loves his son, just wants to be a good person, but he can't because he's trapped behind this like goblin persona and goblin. Almost like close to that Joker thing, where it's
Yeah.
just like this dude is just fucked up for fucked up sake, and sometimes like that's okay to have a villain that's just like crazy and you don't know what he's gonna do just because he's a bad dude. And like Goblin is so scary the way it's portrayed. I'm okay with number one. Why not?
Yeah. All right. Um, so here's the thing. I have to look at it this way. So we had we had the Norman arc in the Raimi movies, and I think Green Goblin Spider-Man 1 is much stronger than Green Goblin in this movie. And so the
Yes.
problem is like they come into this movie, he is just he's there. And the difficulty is since this movie is about Peter Parker, there's not enough on the villains. They are there to help Peter Parker grow. So I don't know if there's a case I would see where I thought it was better like than Wenwu's story or Zemo. And it's just difficult for me because he gets in there, he kicks ass, he acts like the Goblin because you can see we talked about earlier his face changes. Like when he's like all nice and happy, and then when Goblin takes over, he has like those, just like the smile comes, or
That smile.
like at the end when they inject him with the Goblin serum, like his face just like changes back to Norman. And so it's difficult for me because is he stronger than Zemo or Wenwu? I don't know. Is his story stronger? He comes in and pushes Peter to the brink. But man, oh man, Zemo.
If I'm being legit, like he is Goblin is over Mysterio for me. Like that's the lowest I would like rank him personally is number 4.
Which is
So now it's
weird.
like
Go ahead,
what?
Christian. Go ahead, Christian.
Why?
No. It's weird
Why is that weird?
because it's literally the same shit that Mysterio does, just a little bit harder. And you ranked Mysterio as number 4. So Goblin better be right next to Mysterio in this.
I think for
Okay.
me though, personally, I think I would put him above Mysterio
You're a fucking monster.
because
That's where I'm going to.
He's coming in. Obviously,
Okay,
he's
no.
great.
Yeah.
Like he's great. Let's not. I mean, Norman Osborn / Willem Dafoe is probably still like up there in top 4 comic book villains of all time across anything. There's no debate for me. But I think like coming into this movie, what works so well is like the Spider-Man 1 movie. Like obviously, if you didn't see Spider-Man 1 movie, this one didn't work as well, obviously. But he comes in. It's very bearable. He comes in. He's there to push the plot along for Peter. He's in service to Peter for this. He doesn't really have an agenda. He's just there to be crazy. That's what it is. And so I don't think that is stronger than Wenwu literally, abandoning his kids when they need him over because he misses his wife. And that's what's so
Sullivan.
crazy. Like now, like obviously since I'm a dad too, like that's so difficult. It's challenging now. Like, do I? Because Tess and I had the conversation. Like, all right, if we're both hanging over the cliff, like, oh my god, I don't know what to do now. I wouldn't know what to do, and I think since I've been a dad now, Wenwu stuff hits harder. I think the Wenwu storyline is much like, and I think that it's especially with Tony Leung's performance. I think Wenwu. I may have to do like a retroactive personal MCU villain ranking for me and put Wenwu higher up there. I think he's definitely up there with Thanos now for me. Like as
Thank you.
Thanos, Zemo, and Wenwu are like that's the triple S tier. Loki is his own tier because he's all over the place.
Yeah, but it isn't
But-
even a villain anymore.
Oh yeah, well,
Anymore, I said.
yeah. That's why I'm saying like Loki is like his own thing because he went through so much growth and change and everything. That's why he's his own tier for me. But I gotta put him at 4. I gotta put Green Goblin at 4.
Loki's a villain because he wants to bang himself. Fool's a freak.
Sexual
Touche,
deviant. That's
touche.
but
Number
yeah,
4.
I got Green
Number
Goblin
4.
at number 4.
Are you? I don't know if this is like really happening or.
It's so like the problem here, Ruben, is that
Wait, I'm
what-
sorry. So is this above or below Mysterio?
This is above Mysterio.
Okay, so Mysterio is the new number 5. Okay.
Yeah, Mysterio is the new number 5. Because it's just challenging because like obviously the Norman performance is what makes it so good, but narrative wise, he is there to service Peter. He's not like his own character in this. Like he has the one scene in the alleyway where he's like he's having that fight with himself a little bit, and then for the rest of the movie, it's the Goblin persona.
Well, I do love the scene where he's at Feast and he's like talking to Ame about like how scared he is, like that he does admit like he has this split personality.
Well, see, I read that interestingly because I thought that was just like sometimes I thought it was Goblin
Norman
just
or
lying.
Goblin? Me too.
I thought it
Me
was
too.
Goblin lying, and that's what makes it so. That's what makes it so great. Like there are great moments, even though I don't think his story plot wise is as good as the first Tobey Maguire movie. Like there are moments in there like that. I thought it was Goblin just lying the whole time just to get.
I knew
I'm
it
with you.
was
I
Goblin.
thought it was Goblin too, but I don't think he was like lying. I think it was Goblin using that like truth to just like.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was Goblin. He was stealing the fucking donuts. What kind of a
True.
Who does
True.
that? Who does that?
Yeah, I think for me, like Green Goblin, new number 4.
So let me ask you this.
Hmm.
It's on the board. Green Goblin is officially number 4 in our ranking because you guys are just monsters, it seems. Why is Vulture still number 1 and Green Goblin's number 4?
So here's the thing: you were very heavily pushing for Vulture at number 1. I want you to remember that.
I was.
And so here's the thing.
Again.
With this one, I think there's a more nuanced plot with Vulture in it because he literally is a family man, and the heroes who supposedly save everyone are also taking people's jobs, and all he literally wanted to do was just be a family man. And that's the beginning of the movie. He's literally doing all this to save his family, and then that power kind of grows in with him, and he wants to take more and more and more. And I think that they made the Vulture terrifying. We already knew Goblin was terrifying. They made the Vulture scary.
Dude,
So
Vulture doesn't have to be in a suit to be fucking terrifying either, like as well. I mean, Goblin doesn't either, but like that scene in the car.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, intense.
Oh, all of a sudden, the Ruben lights.
Intense.
why
Now,
These are
I just
memories.
want you to know that honestly, Eric, I think we have to revoke your voting privileges because it all comes back to family with you. Okay, this isn't
Talking
the
to
Fast
me?
and Furious. Okay, not everything fucking revolves around family.
Listen, I'm single as hell, and even I can appreciate a good Wenwu.
God damn it, Christian.
And Zemo literally
This
destroyed
was
the
my
Avengers,
chance.
Ruben.
This was my
Zemo
chance.
destroyed the Avengers.
This was my chance to get Green Goblin at number 1, and you just had to go.
Green Goblin is the number 1 like Spider-Man villain.
No,
Like, Tobey-
he's not. Vulture's our number 1 Spider-Man villain.
bro. No, we're.
Oh,
this is
okay, you're saying in
this is
general.
This is MCU villains. I'm judging these by the MCU movies.
Yes.
Green Goblin in the first Spider-Man movie is up there with Thanos and Joker as the best comic book, and I think I don't. Either way, go on.
You forget to realize that Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3, the Raimi movies, are a part of the MCU now. So,
Oh, we're not
I
doing this.
mean, not really.
I mean, are
yes and
they?
no.
We're-
Yes, they are.
We're not doing
Well,
this.
we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Okay, that's fair.
Ruben.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
It's,
Also,
he's a top 5.
That's still not good
He
enough.
literally came.
It's
He had
not
like
good
maybe
enough.
10, 15 minutes of screen time
It's
at
not
most,
good
and he's
enough.
a top 5 villain.
It's not good enough. Zemo, yeah, he destroyed the Avengers. But
yeah, that's
he
all
didn't
you
destroy
need to do to
the
finish that
spirit.
sentence.
He didn't destroy the spirit of a fucking teenager, okay? He
No,
didn't
he
destroy
didn't
the
destroy.
spirit.
He didn't. Like Peter got back up.
You didn't see the look of murder in his eyes, Eric, like I did.
Who's?
Peter's. where he was
It
about
was
to kill.
really dark, and they realized he
Yeah.
was doing the wrong thing.
No, he didn't realize it. Toby
He
had to
had
make
that
him
glance.
realize
He
it.
had that glance with Toby.
He had to
He did
make
the
him
wrong
realize.
thing.
I'm just saying. I think Green Goblin was robbed. All right. That's all I gotta say.
Thank you
Before we
for-
continue, I'm sorry, Christian. I completely skipped something that I need to talk about because,
I like
Whew.
how this is our longest episode ever.
yeah,
I love it.
of course. Again, Christian, I apologize for cutting you off. Since we're ranking the MCU villains, do these really, do these villains really get saved in these movies that we've seen, or are these just making alternate universes?
No, they go back to the universe.
They go back to their time. So Green Goblin dies, right? We see him say, "Oh no," and he's dead.
Well, I think this just opens up a big old like plot hole thing that people love to do on the internet. I think we don't know
Let's
if
make this show 3
where
hours.
Norman goes back, because obviously, like as you learn in Amazing Spider-Man 2, Electro was pulled from a very certain part. We don't know when Norman was pulled. Like he doesn't explain it. I don't think he was just like I wound up here for some reason. Doc Ock talked about how like I had Spider-Man in the palm and I was here.
I don't know. The way he like finally breaks the Green Goblin helmet, trying to like break free of his persona, I feel like he gets pulled from that final fight in Spider-Man.
But he didn't have a battle damaged suit though. It didn't
He
look
didn't, which is right. Okay, all right.
Mm.
Yeah, you're right.
They all go back to 2021, and like, whoa, there's a virus.
Also, how I know people don't like the Power Rangers looking suit, but God, it looks so fucking good. I love the Green Goblin outfit. Oh, it's so good. That was the big thing. Like, obviously, if you go back and watch this Spider-Man from, he looks like a Power Rangers villain.
Oh,
With,
okay,
like,
yes,
the
yes, yes,
green
yes,
and
yes.
stuff.
I'm okay with
But
it. I'm okay with it.
they did kind of like change up his coloring a little bit. It was a bit lighter green.
Yep.
It kind of looked like Master Chief armor green, as opposed to like the weird forest green they had for the first Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I like it.
So,
All right, then never mind. Christian.
Yes, let us rank those Marvel movies. Let me read you the list that we have ranked so far. I'll do the same thing Eric did. So I'll start with number 19, The Incredible Hulk. Number 18, Thor: The Dark World. Those will stay down there. Number 17, Thor. Number 16, Iron Man 2. Number 15, Iron Man. Number 14, Iron Man 3. I love that we all just coupled those. Number 13, Doctor Strange. Number 12, Black Widow. Number 11, Avengers: Age of Ultron. Number 10, The Eternals. Number 9, Ant-Man. Number 8, Captain America: The First Avenger. Number 7, The Avengers. Number 6, Guardians of the Freaking Galaxy. Number 5, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Number 4, Spider-Man: Homecoming. Number 3, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Number 2, Captain America: The Winter Soldier. And number 1, Captain America: Civil War. Eric has to go last.
Christian has to go first.
Okay.
Ruben
I'll
goes
go
second.
first. Ruben goes second.
Yeah. Also because I'm typing, I gotta fix the list. So,
Personally, I've always said it. The fact that like Civil War challenges the mythos of superheroes in the MCU is too goated for me. The fatal flaw of Civil War is that like the green screen is terrible, and honestly, I think for most of the MCU movies, like in like the mod like Phase 2 and 3, it's still pretty bad. Even in No Way Home, I thought it was pretty bad at times. Like the final fight stuff was like, this just looks. I mean, I can tell it's a set. For the purpose of this list and this show, screw it. I'm going number 1. No Way Home.
thank you.
I have to.
Thank you.
And I can't let you guys down. I
I
refuse.
appreciate that. Thank you very much. Of course,
It's a good movie.
greatest movie of all time. Literally the GOAT. Greatest of all time. So, it's number 1 for me. I have nothing else to say. Other than Green Goblin was robbed is number 1, but that's about it. Eric?
So as I'm watching this movie for the second time, I'm thinking like, okay, we're gonna have to rank this movie. Is this movie truly better than the first Avengers, Ruben?
Yes.
Easily.
Is it? Is
Yes.
it even better than Iron Man 2?
Yes.
I
Iron
had
Man
pro-
2
I
was a
had
horrible
prob-
movie.
I had problems with that. I had real struggles, so I don't know if I can put it above Thor. Ruben, I'm sorry. I just can't. Thor made me question so much. Obviously, this is number one. Jeez, yeah, this is the best superhero movie I've ever seen because they focus on the characters and what's important. Problem with some MCU movies is the characters sometimes take a back seat to the plot and moving stuff forward. There are some obviously rare exceptions. Captain America still stays true to his character no matter what situation he's in. Um, but most of the movies, MCU movies, I love the MCU. And Marvel is probably my favorite thing ever, after, Harry Potter, Witcher, and all that stuff. But,
And your daughter.
and yeah, I obviously I'm doing
I'm kidding.
media stuff here. But yeah, most of the MCUs, they sacrifice character for plot sometimes. And that's fine. Like, it is okay. Sometimes the plots are really fun, really cool. Um, some argue, I know we love Civil War here. Sometimes Civil War, the plot gets in the way of the character sometimes because we got to go to different parts of the world. But we're with Peter pretty much this entire movie. There isn't like a major scene where Peter is not involved. And I think that's the true strength of this movie is that it focuses on Peter Parker. And so there's no way in hell this movie isn't number one. And it's going to be hard for me unless, they do. I don't even know. Like like going forward with the MCU, it's going to be really difficult for me for something to top No Way Home. Because I don't know. We have no idea. Is Blade gonna be really fantastic? I hope
Oh,
it is. I hope Blade's gonna be fantastic.
Jesus
And
Christ.
so hey,
What?
Blade's where it's at, man. So
we'll see, dude. We'll see what happens with this list when we get to Infinity War and Endgame.
that's
Listen,
gonna be that's gonna be the real interesting one. And
is it?
so, yeah. I mean, like he, Infinity War. I remember when Infinity War and Endgame came out, like there was that whole argument, like, oh, how can you think Endgame is? Oh, how can you think Infinity War is good, or something like that? And I'm really excited for that one because
Yeah.
Endgame does a lot of great character stuff in that. And
I've
Infinity
heard.
War for me, I love it. It's basically the final act of Star Wars: Return of the Jedi, but just for a whole movie. Um, so I don't know, man.
I guess I
But it's
don't
gonna be.
hold. I don't hold Infinity after Endgame. I don't hold Infinity War as like as high of a tier as you guys do.
Well, I think it's because you see the heroes lose, man. The heroes lose.
Yeah.
You don't see that in
That's
comic book
awesome.
films.
That's
They
so awesome.
like at the end when Captain America's like, "Oh my God," they got their ass kicked. That you usually say that for a comic, a TV show where like you have a two-parter where the hero gets their ass kicked, and in the next episode they get back. Like, no, we had to wait a whole fucking year with that loss. But
Remember in Breaking Bad, when Walt runs over that dude and saves Jesse's life, and then Jesse just looks up at Walt, and Walt just says "run," and then that's the way the season ends. It's the same. That's the same way I felt when Infinity War ended. Like, oh my god.
So that's gonna be really fun. I think the most thing I'm excited for this year, for looking into 2022, I am ready to fucking debate Guardians of the Galaxy 2 with you guys.
Good movie.
That's what I'm looking forward to. But oh man, we got a fun year planned for you guys.
That we do. Um, that we do. I guess it's time for plugs. Eric, where can people find you?
Hey, you can follow me at Eric Segan on Twitter. I try to get Spidey Fan is my Twitter handle, but somebody already has it, and they only have like 2 followers, so it sucks. But yeah, Eric Segan. Let's see what I got going on. I just finished the whole Halo series. I just started Kena Bridge of Spirits. I'm excited to play that.
Ooh, nice.
Wow, that tells me you're not that far in it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Let's see. I'm excited to play it. It's really pretty so far and cute. Um,
Oh no, sorry, I meant because they say her name later, and it's like, oh, it's
It's
Kana.
Kana.
Kana. Oh,
Oh,
is it Kana?
I thought it.
I
Yeah,
was Kena. Oh, whoops. Either way.
Giving you a hard time. I'm sorry.
Kana, Bridge of Spirits. I'm excited to keep playing that. But no, it's really exciting this year. I am putting together my top 100 video game list of all time. I'm working on that right now, so
Eric,
that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna be doing like a stream with that later this year and talk about it.
it's
I'll
So
watch.
I'm really excited for that.
it's week 2. How many games do you have on the list so far?
I have my top 50.
Oh wow, okay.
Not my top 50. I have my first. I have 100 to 50 done because that's the weird thing with this. Like 100 to 50, it really doesn't really matter. Well, it's when you get in that top 25 where it's like, oh, this is really tough right here. Because obviously you could substitute like, oh, Dead Space is definitely better than BioShock, I think, and it's just like, does it really matter? Um, but yeah, my top 5 are locked. So the top 5 are definitely locked.
Interesting. I thought you would have gone the way of like, oh, I'm taking 10 games and I'm pitting them against each other instead of.
No, it's just I'm making a list.
Okay.
I was inspired by
Making it
Emmett
twice.
Watkins Jr.
Okay.
Good stream.
Yeah.
Very good
Here's a hint. Marvel's Avengers is number 50.
Okay.
That's a hell of a list. If Marvel's Avengers is number 50, I would
I got a
love
lot
to
of
see.
Spider-Man games on there too.
I would love to see what's number 100. Okay, just because if you have Avengers as 50, don't even
100.
say it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. I don't want to
I
know.
gotta give a little taste.
No,
Ruben.
you just did. Marvel's Avengers is number 50.
Give me a little
Number
taste.
100, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel of the Roses for the PS2.
Okay.
All right, I regret. You regret
Yeah.
asking that.
I also regret that. Okay. Cool. Christian, where can people find you?
Please, I beg you, follow me at ISOChristian over on Twitter. Do a lot of portfolio building, trying to get my name out there. 2022, I'm shooting my shots both on Tinder and professionally. You can also follow me on my movie podcast that I do, Large Popcorn. Hopefully, there's a big, huge, giant update coming out this week for our 2022 slate of shows. So look forward to that on that Twitter. I think should be Friday. We'll see. Waiting on one thing to confirm, and then it'll happen. Otherwise, I also do a weekly gaming show, Podcast PXN. This week, much like what we're doing next week with Penultimate Conquest Games, we're doing the fantasy draft with PXN as well. So it's going to be interesting for me to have two leagues to have to juggle.
Christian, would it be possible to do a fantasy league for movies? Would that even work?
That would work. You'd have to. I guess you would have to like check it yourself, all the Metacritic scores and stuff like that.
I mean, I can do that. Okay. All right.
I'm really excited for the draft on Sunday. I think are we streaming
It'll be
it?
fun.
Yeah, we're streaming it.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
Yeah, we're streaming
We'll
it.
stream all shows.
I got another fantasy draft I'm in tomorrow of kind of funny people, but I can't go to it, so I'm really sad. But
Did you set up the Open Critic?
not yet. I will do that probably.
Wait, what is
tonight or
OpenCritic?
tomorrow.
Sorry, the fantasy critic.
Oh, the
website.
website thing.
Yeah.
Did you send it to me again? Did you send it to me?
It's in that. It's in that
Christian-
thread. I can send it again if you
Yeah,
want me to.
just send it to me again so I can look at that.
I got a lot of stuff in the works. I am currently in the process of moving. Well, not currently in the process. I'm about to be in the process of moving. I move out of my
Congrats.
house February 1st. So I won't be on a lot of shows in the beginning of the year. I am also doing Tuesdays and Thursdays. I'm doing some electrical training. So trying to see if I could get a job as an electrician would be great. You know, make my own hours. So I'm off Tuesdays and Thursdays for the first part of, well, I guess this month and a little bit of next month. So I guess I'll be back on regular shows probably like the middle of February, maybe. We'll see. Stay tuned this week for Halo Infinite review, Cobra Kai Season 4. Go ahead, Christian.
Keep going, and then I'll go after.
And Attack on Titan Episode 76 review.
Nice.
Yeah.
I almost forgot to mention. I'm still working on the video essay for Penultimate Conquest.
Listen, man.
However, usually I aim for third Thursdays. I have to push this one to the fourth Thursday this month.
That's fine.
The script needs editing and cutting.
You don't need to. Listen, man. I'll take whatever you give me. Okay. How
Okay,
about that one?
that's
Hey,
all right,
Ruben,
all right.
Yeah.
you want to know something?
What?
Tessa and I are coming to New York this summer for a
told me this.
wedding. So we could possibly do one. We have an episode where we sit on the couch together, Ruben.
Oh,
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
man, that'd be so fun.
I mean, I don't know
Either
if
way.
that would work. I would need to buy a camera. You would need to let me know in advance.
It's okay. I'll just sit right next to you with my phone. Just like, hey, Ruben's right here. Yay.
Okay. All right.
So.
We'll see. Eric, did we do Plex for you? Where can people
Yes.
find you? Oh, we did.
Yes.
I guess people can find me at That Guy Tuesday on Twitter and Instagram, and the channels Twitter and Instagram at Pen Conquest. You can find us on TikTok now, which will be active more, I guess. Words I can't really speak. I'm pretty sure it's Penultimate Conquest on TikTok, so stay tuned for that. We'll put up some clips of the shows. It's gonna be a good time. Good time. 2022 is gonna be a big year for us. I think we're gonna have some stuff in the works. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
What episode are we doing next week? Are we doing Hawkeye review next week?
We are doing Hawkeye in review next week. Yes, and then after that, next week we are doing 2 weeks from now. We are
The
doing
24th.
Yes, the 24th. We are doing our 2021 Marvel in review to see the highs and lows of Marvel's 2021 year. Let's see what happens. Good stuff. Good stuff. And that's it. I think that's it.
Longest episode ever. Woo!
Next time we can make it longer, you know? Spider-Man 4.
No.
Spider-Man 4.
I have to go make calls, man.
Okay, with that being said, Excelsior.
Oh
Excelsior.
yeah, Excelsior.
Bye.
Daddy.